Hello, everyone. It's a late night stream. Surprise, surprise. Surprise for me, too. I wasn't planning on streaming, but had quite an emotionally trying last 24 hours. I won't get into the details, the gory details necessarily. Everything's okay, but it was definitely emotionally trying. And so, man, I needed to chill and I needed to get onto this drawing board and just like space out and work on this page. I did some work on the STERANKO master study off stream yesterday and needed to do a little bit more tonight. I want to finish up the pencils so that I can get to the inking. But yeah, I needed to chill out, and I thought we are at 477 subscribers. Is that where we're at? 477 subscribers. And the other metric that you got to work on as you're trying to reach 500 is also your watch hours. So I'm like, let's just throw on the stream. Let's just turn on the old Betsy, the old camera, and clock in some hours while I'm chilling out. So I don't know if I'll be so yappy tonight because I'm really drained, to be honest. So I might just be drawing, chilling. I'll get to the comments. I'll say hey to everybody for sure. I'll lean on you guys to drive the discussion, but I'm not going to be so yappy tonight. And I'm going to save my energy for drawing, save my brain for just chilling out tonight. It's late already for a lot of you guys, I'm sure. And then hopefully the new morning, Wednesday will come along. It's supposed to be super rainy tomorrow, but hopefully the new morning, we got some comics coming in tomorrow. I got an unboxing that I'll probably pull out tomorrow because that came 2 days ago. Haven't opened it up, but excited to discover what it might be. I'm 70% sure I might know what it is. Anyway, all of that to say, thank you for showing up, everyone. I really appreciate it. I was very much prepared to just draw silently on stream, just to clock in the hours. But I'm so glad all of you guys are here, especially first in chat, Mr. Monkey Boy, colon face blue wide eyes. I hate the way Ecamm does that. Not cool.
How do you say monkey in French?
Doesn't show the cool emoji that shows up in the YouTube chat. But hey, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969, once I saw your comment, smile creeped on my face. So glad to see you. And then this man, always happy to see this man, my man, Shanthan Jetty art. I think Shant is describing himself there. The man who slapped Bob Kane. He's calling himself a legend. What's up, Shant? How are you doing, my friend? I haven't talked to you in a while. I wasn't able to join in live, but I saw Shant was streaming today, so good vibes all around. 2 for the price of 1, everyone. It costs you a free, but 2 for the price of 1. I wanted to ask him about that, but chickened out. Asked him about what, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. Emo Trash is here. Literally just talking about me. Oh man, or maybe Shant, or maybe Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. Who knows? But I'm so happy to see you. Looks like sleep truly is for the weak tonight. It's true. Who needs sleep? No, I don't think I could sleep right now. Oh, I don't know. I jump into bed and I'd probably pass out, but I just need to finish this drawing. It's in there. It's like, oh, I got to finish it. And I'll show you guys a little bit here as we are. But yeah, I did quite a bit of work actually off stream. It was yesterday night. Kind of had one of those nights where I need to draw. So yeah, I worked on all of the panels. If you guys remember, for those of you who joined the first episode, first stream on this master study, this Jim Steranko page from Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #2. Recommended by none other than Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 in the chat. This is an amazing page. And for those of you who are at the first stream, first episode, we were talking about how, because of the comics code, they had to edit this page. So there was 2 versions of this bottom panel here, or these bottom 2 panels here that are blank. And the edited version was here, what I kind of covered over with these Post-its, where apparently the original version was a little too risque. So they had to change it to have this phone here off the hook and just a close-up of the gun, Nick Fury's gun on the couch. But the original page, which the chat voted that we're going to be completing the master study on, is this, which I printed out, these nice scans. I didn't know, I mean, I knew they were great scans, but then when I printed out, I'm like, these are great, really great scans. This is the original panel here, the phone off the hook. Naughty, naughty Nick Fury. And this, like, calisthenic pose of Nick Fury and Contessa in a locked arm embrace. I love both of them, actually, but I know you guys voted for this one to do. So this is what we're going to be working on, these last 2 panels tonight, which is pretty exciting. But as you can see, all the other panels that really remain the same for the most part, I worked on off stream, and they were fun, really fun little moments. My favorite thing about this STERANKO page is and just STERANKO in general, is how cinematic his compositions are. He's coming hot off the heels of Jack King Kirby, like dominating Marvel. And he was filling in some big shoes coming after Jack Kirby. But he brought the pulp. And I can actually pull out the book. I mentioned it last stream, this Pulp Power book. Shanth recommended it to me several months ago, and I bought it. And it's a great book, and it has a great section on Jim Steranko, the Pulp King. And yeah, he just brings just the storytelling, the cinematic, subtle moments between the characters here, and just the compositions, these almost abstractions here. They're amazing, really amazing. So each little panel I was working on, it just felt like its own moment, which I loved, and just told the story in a very poetic, if I could use kind of an adjective, a very poetic way. So I love it. I really love it, and I love breaking them all down. Let's see. Comics are a conspiracy. That's right, Comics Experiency. John! What's up, John?
He goes, what's your name? He goes, John.
You and Sean both, apparently. Yeah, I guess so. How's it going, John? Nice seeing you here. I know it's super late for you. Super late for Emo Trash. But you guys are here. I really appreciate that. I always never know late night, these streams, who's going to show up. And yet, here you guys are. You guys are the best. I was busy yapping about a random leaning lighthouse I found purely on accident. And I just mentioned something about you, then there you were. LOL. Because when you think leaning lighthouse, you think Rocky. Like and that's my name, Rocky Ballesteros, also known as the Leaning Lighthouse of Master Studies. Rocky has an addiction. Maybe I do. I'm addicted to you guys. I'm addicted to drawing. I'm addicted to comics. That's for sure. I can embrace that. I'm for sure addicted to comics. It's really bad. You guys know my buddy. He showed up in the chat a few times. My buddy El Chung, and we hung out end of last week, and he came over, and we were gonna go eat breakfast, and he was like, "Oh, can I come over and just sit in your office, and I want to look at your comics. I want to look at your master study page." So he was here, and we were like going, and he was like, "It's like I'm walking in a comic book store a little bit, Rocky. It's kind of scary." And I was like, it is kind of scary. It is a little bit scary. The addiction, the purchasing, the inventory. It's kind of scary. So I wish there was some way I could translate that to you guys. Like, I have mentioned this on earlier streams of like a rental service or a library service. So I could share the fun with everybody, but you'll just have to get it through the streams. Hopefully I can share enough through the streams with you all that you get that feeling. But yeah, it was really cool to just share it with him. And I mean, he watches my streams. Such a nice friend. Also watches my streams. But he gets to come over and see it in person and see all the stuff that sometimes you guys don't get to see. So it's really fun. Rocky, I'm here. You will yap. There we go. I appreciate that. Won't yap too much tonight. Rocky 2025. That's my political campaign, and I just broke that promise. Katie! What's up, Katie?
Say cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
No. A cup of tea.
Katie, we have missed you. I have not played that soundbite in a long, long time. We have missed you. So how are you doing? So good to see you, Katie. I'm glad to see you. Look at that fancy profile picture of Katie. That's a new Ice Queen, if I'm not mistaken. It's great to see you, Katie. Don't ask why I'm awake. I'm not happy about it. We're going to make you happy, Katie. We're going to make you happy that you're here, or we're going to put you to sleep. Either way, it'll be a good result. But I'm so good to see you. That's right. Hashtag cup of tea. It's been missing in this stream for a while. Hashtag cup of tea. We love it. Didn't see Chant at first. Bonjour, Monsieur and Jetty. What was the poll outcome? Pure. Did you fall asleep, John? No, we went with pure, remember? Or I'm just going to pretend that you remember. We went with pure. This is pure. Unadulterated. Jim STERANKO is the winner. And we're going to finish up these two panels here. We're going to finish up pencils tonight. Gosh dang it, come hell or high water, so that we can start inking this very soon. I mean, I'm not going to start inking tonight, but, next stream, we're going to start inking it. He's doing the icky version. I guess Mr. Monkey Boy did not vote for this version. You could be doing your own inking while I'm apping. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's everybody pull out an inking brush, a quill. Start working. Don't just be observers. Get in there. Start working. Yeah, they're practicing their martial arts. Oh my gosh. Tongue fu. That's what Emo Trash just calls it. Oh my gosh. Yes. Hello, John. Real question. Where is Comrade Sammy and her sidekick? Where is Comrade Sammy? Super late. Jeffrey Bates? Did I pronounce that right, Jeffrey? Give me a phonetic spelling if you don't mind. Good day from Australia. Australian. Wow. Holy cow. Are you neighbors with Bancroft? I always love it when people are like, "Oh, you're from whatever. You're from San Francisco or you're from California. Do you know so-and-so?" I'm like, No, haven't run into him. So, Jeffrey, do you know Bancroft? I know he's from Australia. You guys must know each other because all Australians know each other. It's called Sharp's Island Lighthouse. Should read a little bit about it, actually. It's been through some drama. All right, Sharp's Island Hey, I didn't think we were going to have it. We're going to write down some notes because that sounds very interesting. Sharp's. Here we go. Let's write this down before we forget it. Sharp's Island Lighthouse. I will check it out. Emo Trash. For those of you who don't know, who haven't been here before, I'd like the chat always gives great stuff, recommends links, whatever, recs, and oftentimes I will forget because I'm just so caught up with everything else. And so I've done this little like notepad or note sheet on stream so that I can go back and watch and remember as opposed to like trying to dig through the chat. So there you go. The first note for today is from Emo Trash, Sharp's Island Lighthouse. I will check that out. Should be renamed Drama Queen Lighthouse. Nice. Like a comic book store in Rocky Studio. What do you think you would have said about Sean's Yeah. I mean, as you guys know, I've talked about this much on stream. Comic book stores run a wide gamut of organization and cleanliness and stacks, piles. Actually, if you guys didn't see the stream, Jason Bascom, Unhinged, he's coming in here. Good man, love that dude. Has come into this stream quite a bit, and I love to check out his streams too. Go check out his channel. One of his Old Man Draws videos that he posted, he was actually talking about that conversation that we had on my stream about comic book stores and what makes a comic book store, what makes a good comic book store. And he posed that question himself and said, he heard it on my stream and wanted to talk about it too as well. So pretty awesome that we're spreading that question around. But yeah, I would say that Sean's studio is like a comic book store as well. You don't know what's gonna fall on you at any given moment. But it's like a giant mystery box, like a giant what do they call those boxes? Those box services you would pay money and they just send you like random things. It's like that. It's awesome. I love it because I love digging. It's like an archaeology site, it's pretty amazing. Awesome one is here. A late night.
Yes! That's awesome!
It is a late night awesome one. Cranberry Landers is here. Holy moly.
This is a cranberry, full of power.
What kind of stream would this be without Cranberry Landers? What's up, man? Great seeing you. I'll be back a bit after some anime and popcorn. No problem. What anime? Oh, speaking of, not anime. One of the books I was talking about, one of the comics I was talking about, manga I was talking about last stream was, oh my gosh, just blanked on Tank Chair. And I read the first volume. It is awesome. It is such a great premise. I'll probably do a YouTube short on it where I do a 15-second review. But the artwork's amazing. The designs are amazing. And the premise is so simple. Basically, this assassin has a sister. And it's a brother-sister team. And the main assassin is like the best assassin on the planet. Or one of the best assassins. And in the middle of a job, he has to save his sister who is captured hostage. And he saves her, and then the people that he beats, one of the guys who's dying, like, shoots at his sister. Like, his last dying move is to shoot at his sister. And this assassin jumps in front and takes a bullet in the head, and it makes him, like, totally like a paraplegic, or quadriplegic. And he's paralyzed, and he can't speak or anything. And the whole premise is this sister takes care of him now, and to awaken him or like pull him out of this catatonic coma state, quadriplegic state, is he is triggered by somebody's kill instinct to try and kill him. And so basically she puts him in these situations where they're going on bounties trying to assassinate people for hire. And anytime he's put in that situation, the people that they're hunting try and kill him, and it triggers him, and then he'll like go berserk and like wipe them out. And then at the end, they have a few minutes. It's like a time limit. He has a few minutes, and he'll have like a conversation with her, and she'll be like, "Oh, it's great seeing you," and da 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 da. And then he'll go back into this comatose state. And so the first volume that I read is basically like the first 3 jobs they have. And they just get amped higher and higher. And as much as manga tends to do, a lot of manga tends to do, is they just kind of introduce new villains each chapter and new adventures. And it's a great premise. And then his chair like totally tricks out. The crazier the villain, the more his chair will go like get more parts and like turn into this huge tank. And it's awesome. It's crazy. So it's really fun. Katie says, I'm sorry, I've not been around much. No problem, Katie. I know you were taking a break. I'd heard from some people you were taking a break, but I'm just glad you're here and showing your fun presence again. He did fall asleep for that stream, I think. Awesome One's watching a show called Moondust, apparently. Sounds good. I know he crashed during one recently enough. I remember. Yes, my stream crashed. It was my last Master Study crashed, and we were having apparently some network work in the neighborhood. And so that's what happened. I checked it after the stream, and that's what happened. So kind of sucky, but at least it cut me out. But then when the stream kicked back in, it was still connected to the same live stream. So it's not like it just quit out. It just reconnected. So that was pretty good. John says, I did fall asleep at the end of one of your streams. Might have been that one. We'll go with yes, I did. Cranberry Langer says, looking great so far. Thanks, Cranberry. Let me switch to a bigger view. Here we go. Start over, Awesome One says. Beats, Jeffrey Beats is right. Bancroft? Which city? I actually don't know what city Bancroft lives in. But go check out his channel, Michael Bancroft. He's got a comic out there called The Lucent. He streams a lot, has great streams, has been doing this a long time. And he pops into our stream now and then, has been popping in quite a bit recently. So it's been really cool. I like to also call him the White Shanth. Oh, no, sorry. Yes, White Shanth. Shanth is Browncroft. Those two are like two sides of the same coin. There you go. Jeffrey Beats. Beats goes on. What's a Bancroft? Exactly. Bancroft is some Australian dude in the woods. Melbourne, thanks, John. Check out New 52, Animal Man, and Low, Rocky. You've told me about the New 52 Animal Man, Cranberry Langers. I still have not been able to locate Volume 1 like at my library stuff, so I do have it on my list, though, but thank you for reminding me. Everybody's great to happy to see Katie. Why did Disney stop doing 2D animation video? Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that. Yeah, that's sad. That's really sad. Hi, I don't know Bancroft. Melbourne is fantastic. I'm from Meanjin. Wow. You should definitely check out Bancroft's channel, Jeffrey Beats. Whoever wants to drop the link in the chat. It's a great one. Great one, especially if you love comics, indie comics, art in general. He does a thing called an art share, where he just kind of looks at a bunch of stuff that's inspiring him, and the chat comments, and they vote on it. It's hilarious. Probably going to flee, though. I have to sleep, study, read, be ready for an interview mañana. Okay, no problem, Cranberry. But just hang as long as you want. It's so awesome to see you. Lost my nib pin. Oh. Curiosity cabinet. That's a very eclectic, very fanciful way of describing your place, Shanth. I'll give you that. Yes. Yes. Subscription box, thank you. Bespoke box, yes, yes. Did you hear what Shanth said? Pizza Live. Shanth has a great show. Pizza Live. Jeffrey Beats. If you don't know about it, I'm just going to give you all the new info if you don't know about this stuff. If you are new to here, so happy to see you. My name is Rocky Ballesteros, and I do a couple of crazy comic streams. One, I do my Wednesday comics on Wednesdays, and I go through the books that I pick up on a weekly basis, whether at my comic book store or I find in the library or whatever. I just review the comics that I'm looking at that week. And so I will probably stream that tomorrow, because I do have a number of books I'm going to be picking up that I already know is coming up. And then I do this Master Study series where I try and reproduce as best as I can a comic page, or I did a cover last time from Barry Windsor Smith, Weapon X. Have those streams, I have playlists of each one of those Master Studies in my channel. You can check out. I try and document the process, but I go from blank page to pencils all the way through the fully inked page. And it's been awesome. It's just been a great addition to what I'm doing here on YouTube. And it's just a way for me to train and learn from the masters. That's exactly what it is. It's studying the masters. And this week, or this master study I'm doing, is from Jim STERANKO. So I've done Mike Zak, Michael Golden, Barry Windsor-Smith, Mobius, and Will Eisner. And then now we're doing on STERANKO. So it's pretty awesome. These are some anime that Awesome One is watching. Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest or Loner in Another World. Wow, these sound awesome. Different kind of stream, slightly better in some respects is what I'm guessing without me. Fewer all caps and copious amounts of comics. Cranberry Landers, you're one of the OGs, and it's always awesome to have you here. So I'll take it. I'll take as much Cranberry as I can. I'll try and catch you guys tomorrow, though. Good night, good day. See ya. See you later, Cranberry. His superpower is magnified if he's alone more. Is this the... Oh, is that the loner? Loner in Another World? Wow, that's weird. I love Japanese entertainment. So crazy, the concepts. I'd be derailing the narcs that live off disturbing my peace. Here we go. Here's Awesome One's link for Michael Bancroft's channel, the Lucent comic. One of the latest things that Michael Bancroft is doing is these trading cards. A series of trading cards based off his comic, The Lucent. And he's also auctioning off the originals, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, check it out. I thought Shanth was Dark Rose Bancroft. He is. He definitely is. We don't know the cities of other countries. It's true. We don't know the cities of our own country, to be honest. But hopefully we can fix that through the Department of Education. Huh? Just throw that nugget out into the chat. Oh my gosh. Here's Michael Bancroft's channel. Thank you, John. Awesome One dropping the links. My popcorn is getting cold. See you later, Awesome One. All right. Here's Shant's YouTube channel. Shant does Pizza Live on Thursday nights. Most Thursday nights. Sometimes Shant has to skip, but he's pretty regular with his Pizza Live streams. Super fun watching movies that are in the public domain. Usually old, classic B, C movies. And they're super fun just watching them together. Pizza Live is going to be my weekly reward for going to all my classes, doing all my work like a totally good scholar. That's great. It's a great reward. And yes, oops, sorry. Yes, STERANKO was completely undemocratically selected too, unlike Kamala. He was. It's probably... We got too many damn cities. It's true. We got a lot. We got a lot of cities. All right. I caught up on the chat, everybody. Not too bad. Not too bad. Where are we at? Working okay. And I know if I don't, you guys will let me know. So, but I do need something. I need something playing in the background tonight. I need something to like carry me through without silence, because silence will make me think about the emotional toil, and that's not good. So here we go, John and chat. We're gonna try this out. I've had varying degrees of success. Am I buffering? Dag nabbit. And back. All right. Why would I be buffering? I'm just gonna check and see if they're doing work. They tend to do work at night, which I guess is better than the day. But let's see where we're at. If it gives me any warning that there's work in my neighborhood. Yeah, well, it looks all right. Looks okay. All right, so hopefully it doesn't buffer more. I buffered for a moment. Thank you for telling me. Hopefully I didn't. All right, are we good? Does this sound too loud? I'm gonna turn it down on my ears, but hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. We're just gonna chill here. We're gonna draw. All right, I'm gonna work on the phone panel. So I printed out these beautiful scans that I found online of the replacement panels. They're gonna help me out here because I'm gonna do the little technique that I did when I was working on the Barry Windsor-Smith page, where kind of gonna flip it to make sure I'm getting, let me get some tape. Hang on one second. But I want to flip it just so I get the placement roughly. I did this technique on the Barry Windsor Smith page, and it was really helpful. And it's kind of an animation flipping technique, but it's just so I can see. These panels are so tiny, not tiny, but they're so like compositionally exact, and I want to make sure that I get the placement right. It does blur for you guys every time I flip though, right? Is that annoying? Oh, it'll be alright. We'll get through it. And I'll just get the rough placement, then I won't keep flipping. I'll eyeball the rest. But what I'm trying to do is just, because these compositions are, I mean, they're so perfectly placed and like relating to one another, I don't want to like skew it in my own study, and I want to really try and capture the cropping and everything pretty close to how STERANKO did it. Every now and then I'll like eyeball it myself without doing this flipping, but for these last two panels especially, I want to try and capture it, so that's what I'm doing. Why do you not like the idea of using a light box again, Rocky? That's a good question, John. I think that I feel like it's really, at least the way I describe it, is it's really a way to exercise my eye and hand coordination. So as I flip it, like your eye, it's kind of like when you stare at a light and then you close your eyes, you see that light. So when you flip a page, and this is true in animation and kind of why I borrowed this technique, it's like when I flip it, I see the like ghost of the image. My eye is like locking into, say, the placement of this line, and I flip it up here, and I'll like, as best as I can, mark it, right? And then I'll drop the page back down, and you can see the line, like as I'm looking at it now, the line's moving up a little bit, so I know that my placement of that line is too low. So I'll just go back and forth, and that's why I keep flipping back and forth between it, is to make sure it's kind of lining up as you go in between the two pages. So it's the same way like in animation, if you see like old traditional animators and they're drawing on paper and they're flipping it, and they'll flip, you know, they can flip anywhere. I've seen people do like 5-6 pages at a time, but all of their pages are pegged at the bottom. They have like this special peg bar so that it's aligned, and then they'll just keep flipping between all the different panels to make sure the stuff is lined up, or like volume is staying consistent between the page. And that is the illusion of motion there. And I'm just doing it for this one page, but so to answer your question, if I did it on a light box, there would be really no exercise for my eyeball to hand of just doing this flipping, because this is kind of building my hand-eye coordination to put down the mark where it needs to be. At least that's what I tell myself. It would be a lot easier, a lot faster to lightbox it, but then you're pretty much just tracing it, you know. And I'm trying to think of like an exercise analogy. Instead of doing like the reps, it's like you're just taking Ozempic. I don't know. That's a horrible analogy, but you know what I mean? You're just kind of skipping to the end, and I don't want to do that. I want to go through this process. I'm toying with the idea of a new phase of master studies where it's not just me trying to reproduce a page the way that another artist that I admired is, but maybe trying to like redo a page in the way that I would, which would be like drawing from scratch, right? So I'm toying with that idea. See how that would work. I think that could be pretty cool. So it'd still be studying the page, but maybe like, how would I approach it? You know, and that's a whole different set of skills. So yeah, this is what I like to call comic book artist exercise. I gotta put in the reps, and so this is for the penciling, and then as you guys have seen on the other master studies, once I get the pencils down, then the reps are like, how can I ink this and master the tools of inking to get good marks and, you know, that whole process. And that's a whole nother animal. I've seen, if you guys follow, there's an incredible inker by the name of Gary Martin who he has done a lot of great work, and the thing that I know Gary Martin from is not only his comic book inking work, but he wrote a comic book inking book way back in the 90s. I've shown it on stream before, and I've noticed, and he's somewhat active on social media, and he's recently been doing his own master studies. They're similar master studies of just incredible classic comic pages, and he's like inking them in his own way, in the Gary Martin style. But the amazing thing, the coolest thing that I saw recently is he did a reproduction of the same Barry Windsor Smith image that I did, and he did it he inked it as, you know, in his Gary Martin style, and it was beautiful. So you can check it out if you look at Gary Martin's X account. It was one of the recent studies that he did of this Barry Windsor Smith drawing, the same one that I did, and he inked in his inks look way better than my inks. That guy's a legend. But it's just cool that we did the same piece. He must have found the same scan that I did online. So yeah, that is why John, why I don't lightbox it, but it would be a lot faster if I did lightbox it, for sure. See, I couldn't even see as I'm flipping it here and looking at the screen. I can see my volumes are off. Emo Trash is inking something. That's awesome, Jeremy Beats says. Thank you, Jeremy Beats. Maybe you're talking about Bancroft's links or this drawing. Who knows? I'm going to take it you're talking about this drawing. So thank you. Inking is also a lot easier when your eyes don't randomly strain. Yes, maybe inking at doing art in general this late at night might not be a good idea, but it might be a great idea. It's not a good idea, it's a great idea. There's always, with inking specifically, because I think inking is less forgiving than penciling. Like, it's not as easy to like correct inks as it is pencils, but I find when I'm inking, there's always this point of like, should I keep going? I can just do one more section, one more line, and every now and then you'll regret it. Like, I should have stopped half an hour ago, because you'll make like a horrible mistake. Or, as I did in college often, I would at that point be so tired I would accidentally tip the bottle over. Hated that. Jeremy Beats, so good to see you. I'm just singling you out because I think it's the first time I've seen you in my chat. But if you are interested and so willing, please subscribe. I appreciate it. We are heading on our way to 500 subscribers on this channel, which is I never take it for granted, and it never ceases to amaze me that we've gotten this far. And I do hope that you check out the other content on my channel and enjoy it, and therefore subscribe to it. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming all the way from Australia. You flew in. Your arms must be tired. It's funny too, because as I've been on other streams and other indie comic streams here and there, I do find that there's quite a contingency from Australia, and I wonder, like, why is that? Like, there's hundreds of countries all over, and yet is it just because it's English speaking too, or what? But I do see a lot of people from Australia. We got Katie, if Katie's still here. Katie from the UK. That's awesome. Got at least 3 countries represented here. That's crazy, if you can think about it. Just drawing late night, in the middle of the night on the Pacific coast in America. And we already have 3 countries, people representing three countries showing up. It's crazy. Technology is crazy. It's really crazy what we're able to do this day and age. Jeremy Beat says, I've been to America before. Great country. Awesome. How do you define a bogan? John asks. Maybe Katie went back to bed. Possibly. We learned bogan from Bancroft. That's right. I don't even know what a bogan is. I just heard people saying bogan, and when he writes, sometimes when he writes to his channel, he'll say, hey, bogans. I don't know. That must be a endearing term, I'd hope. Coming all the way from Australia to watch me harass the poor man. This is how we do it in America. Emo Trash is showing you how we do it here. Never been here before. I'll subscribe. Thanks. Awesome. Thank you, Jeremy Beats. Jeffrey Beats. There's a Jeremy Jeffrey that I've seen that has come alive, but Jeffrey Beats. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. Hopefully we won't disappoint. If you love comics, that's why I'm doing this. I so love comics, and all of this is to share that love, to just, the best thing about comics is, and one of the main reasons I started this channel was I loved so much to go to the comic book store and just geek out about whatever was new at the time that came out, and like, oh, check this out. And my good friend Shanthan Jetty, who has been in the chat this evening, we've known each other over 30 years, and we met in college, and we became friends, really good friends, because of comics, just because of our shared love of comics. And so when this whole YouTube thing happened, Shant was like, you need to get on YouTube. Here's this whole comics community on YouTube. And I was like, what? But it's been amazing. It's been really amazing. And it's been fun sharing in comic stuff with everybody here. And just talking about the things that excite us, the stories, the characters, the art, that excite us. And then hopefully we'll get to that point, as many people have done, and as my friend Shant, my good friend Shant, has done successfully, get to that point where I can produce an original comic and do that whole process with you guys online. That's what all this is for. This is the means to the end of getting to that point where we can do all this on my own book. But we're still practicing, we're still working on it, cooking up some ideas, actively working on stories right now. So it's not going to be that far. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting to the point of working on my book this year. But don't quote me on that. No, maybe you should quote me on that. That's the goal. How's the music been, John? Is it bad? It's okay? Actually, I say that just now, but did my playlist just end that I made? Might have just ended. So I'll restart. Restart the playlist. We have a clean test case. Still good question as to where my partner in crime is. She better not be sleeping among the peasants. We talking about Comrade Sammy again? A bogan is a poor slob. All right. I think Bancroft is just saying that you're not snobs. So not bad. Working class post. Oh, okay, cool. Rocky, I'm not going to yap a lot tonight. Also, Rocky, yaps even without my influence. Me, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or self-contradicting prophecy, maybe we should say. I say, I'm not gonna yap, and then I yap. I psyched myself out. Yeah, there's a handful of books coming out tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about that. But it's funny because Comic Book Wednesday, which is the day, for the most part, in the States at least, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in America, usually new comic books come out Wednesday. But Diamond Distributors, who they distribute, I want to say, I think it's Marvel books, and I don't think it's both Marvel and DC. They distribute a lot of books for comics. One of the main distributors for comic book shops. But they've been, I don't know if they're going bankrupt or they've had a lot of closures, a lot of problems, a lot of logistical problems. So the last 3-4 months, like, books have been late. So it's like not Comic Book Wednesday anymore. Sometimes it's Thursday some books come in, or a week late. It's kind of bad. I don't know if there's any solution outlined or planned for what it's going to be. love these, like, I don't know if these are meant to be indicators of this is like some plant, like leaves. So they have these, like, it's great. It's great storytelling here where this establishing shot, the first panel, they establish these like fern leaf plants in this kind of chic, cool room. I have no idea what this is. Chandelier? Not sure yet. But yeah, they establish these plants, and then in this panel they use it here. Let's see if I have a printout. In this panel they use it here kind of as compositional elements here. And then this panel, it's like super abstract, but it's also almost like sound lines, or like it adds some tension here, and there's like shadows. I love it. It's kind of cool. It's almost like you go from this very representational of like, yeah, we're in this room, and then it gets abstract as they get into the boogie woogie romance. It's awesome. But it's also a nice like directional element to carry your eye over to this panel. Right, so it's like we get this, like just these 4 panels, we get her face here with her expression, his hand, and it shoots you up here to this like abstraction of her lips, just this close up on her lips, up here to these, whether they're shadows of the plants or just like sound effect lines, and then they carry over here to this panel, him kissing on her cheek, and then calisthenic time. Really cool, and that's the beauty. I think that kind of to bookend the question, John. They say, why don't you just lightbox it? Like when I have to build all these from scratch and not just trace them, it really makes you appreciate why they do what they do and the purpose for what they do, like the purpose of these compositional elements. When you have to do it yourself, you realize like, oh, that's what that's doing there. So it's pretty awesome. I've learned so much from the master studies I've done so far. And every time I finish them, I'm like, that's how I want my original comic book page to feel. And then I'll do the next master study. I'm like, well, maybe that is how I want my... And I'm sure at the end, whenever I work on my own stuff, it's going to be a mixture of all these artists and stuff that I've learned from all of them. I love this rotary phone. I'm sure like a good portion of you guys in the chat have never seen this in real life. A rotary phone like this. I remember having to call my friends on a phone. We had a rotary phone, and like the people whose numbers ended in like digits that were higher than 6, it was like, oh man, because you dial the number and then it would like revolve back, so it'd be like, that just takes too long when you're trying to dial somebody's number fast, and it's like Oh, sorry. It's a little off screen. Right, there we are with the phone. Add some of that textured carpet or whatever that might be. All right. Whoa. The chat has jumped here. Okay, let me catch up. Suppose I can give him some grace this time as he's yapping for the newcomer. Yes, we gotta give Jeffrey Beats a clear picture of what he's getting into here. We're not gonna pull the wool over his eyes. There's a lot of yapping going on. A lot of yapping. My friend here, Emo Trash, she is officially the derailer in chief of the chat. So get ready for her curveballs. That's right, I fear her. Melbourne has fewer bogans than elsewhere. Music is fine. You're not fidgeting with it nonstop. Okay, cool. Yes, I kind of came up. Is the volume level okay? Kind of came up with a hopefully better technique of getting that going. We get them on Wednesday too. New comic books. Oh, how funny. Great comic book shop here. Diamond is gone now. There you go. Yeah, like what the heck? Hopefully an alternative shows up. I mean, how is everybody gonna get their comics? But I love that you get your comics on Wednesdays there too. If Comrade Sammy were on Discord, we could harass her to get in here, but alas, she's not on Discord. My sporadic comics, yes, John said my random comics last stream because I was streaming on a Thursday or Friday, even though I called it my Wednesday comics. Still doing pencils like STERANKO, I see. Mighty Geek Studios, what's up again, Mighty Geek Studios? Awesome to see you again. Yes, we're gonna finish these up though. I've just got this phone panel, which I'm almost done, and then this, what I'm calling the calisthenic conclusion of this page. Then I got a few details up here that I'll clean up as well. But yeah, we're almost there. We are almost there. And then we'll get to the inking part for the next stream, which is the majority of the streams on these master studies is the inking stuff. But it's also the most fun for me, at least at this point, to study because I love the inking process and I love the penciling process as well, but there's something about trying to match what these masters did with their inking. And you guys have noticed, for those of you who have seen the other master studies, a lot of the masters that I'm picking and the artwork that I'm picking that they do, their inking is really on point. And it's a big part of why I love the particular page. And it's a big reason why I love comics so much is the inking part of it, the pen and ink part of it. Like not just the finished art, but I love seeing the traditional pen and ink comic art. It's some of my favorite comic stuff out there. We actually got comics before you. They're released here on Wednesday, which is your Tuesday. Darn that global rotation. That's true, huh? I mean, I know most comic book stores here get them actually the night before too, so that's probably the same case there in Australia. Shelby's here. Late night art stream. Diamond is getting acquired by an invest group of about 200 private investors. What in the heck? Oh, Shelby. Dun da da da. Here's the debut. That's Shelby's sound cue. Welcome, Shelby. I do that for my mods, all my mods in my channel. I try and give them a little shout out by you might have heard Jeffrey Beats. When I see people in the chat who are mods and part of my quote unquote mod squad, I like to give them a little sound cue. And so Shelby, aka American Discord, is one of the newbies as far as being modded here. And so here is his sound bite. And for those of you who know, you know. It's like I'm in Shelby's stream. Morning, Shelby. Hello, hello. Jeffrey Beats, always the overachievers here. Just have to be first. That's right. Page starts at the pool and slowly moves inside. Wait, this is not the pool. Is this the pool? Because she's on some sort of rug here. No, it's not the pool, is it? I actually don't know the context of the page that happens before or after this one. So I'm not even sure where this is. I was assuming this was inside. Here's the original. I'm assuming this is like indoors. Is this outdoors? And this is just some like shag furniture outdoors? Outdoor furniture? But like she has like a skin rug. I have no idea what this is. This thing here. What kind of structure this is or hanging thing here. It's kind of weird. Looks like Kirby tech. But this like animal skin rug and this like shag carpet here, I feel like we're in the Brady Bunch house. And then there's a record player. Yeah, I think this is indoors. I think Mighty Mike Geek Studios. Maybe you know something I don't. Bogans need good comics. That's right. Jeffrey Beats. Justice for Gun. Did the eraser just... Oh! All right. We'll learn something. Look, it's literally an electric eraser. Emo Trash. You can buy these anywhere, any art store. This one is, the brand of this one is Sakura. And this is actually one of my original ones from like, I want to say 20 plus years ago. Every now and then it cuts out. But it's pretty cool. They have these little erasers, you know, refill erasers you can buy. It's kind of a hard white eraser. And it has a little holder there. And then you just put it in there. And it spins. And it's really good for erasing very fine detail. I don't use it to erase like big areas. For that, I'll use standard polymer erasers or my gummy eraser here. But yeah, I like doing this when I'm doing like, you know, kind of delicate, thin areas. It's pretty awesome. But yes, it does vibrate. Spins, yes. Yes. It's amazing. You can get it at any art store. Look it up. It's really great. STERANKO has a psychedelic art style. He does. It's amazing. I'm gonna. No, it wasn't my phone. It was my eraser. I will pull out that pulp book here in a second because you can see. I mean, this for sure has kind of the swanky, like 60s, 70s vibe. Awesome, so great for the time. Like that is the time period that Nick Fury needs to live in. Yeah, it's just so perfect for this time period. But you'll see in that pulp book the stuff that STERANKO brings out there, and he's amazing. He's really, there's so much, his work just oozes style. It's really great. Why did we need to make the eraser so electric? It's battery operated Dremel eraser, like $15 on Amazon. Come with tiny, there you go. American Discord knows, he knows everything. Shelby knows everything when it comes to comics. He's like an encyclopedia he's the Wikipedia of comics or art. I've not only seen a rotary phone, but I've also used them. Yeah. Ketchup if you mustard. I'm trying. Guess in my perplexion I've succeeded in doing it. There you go. Volume is good for the music. Nice. Admiral Wackass is here. What is up? Shelbean is here. He is. If that's Shelby. Yes, he's here. Does Rocky forget he's catching up with the... Yep, he forgot us. I did. I got it. I'm here. Zaid Comics is here. What's up, Zaid Comics? Phil, good to see you. As always. Always good to see you. Check out Zaid Comics' stuff. He's launched his Psycho Slumber campaign. He's got his campaign going. I picked up that Ashcan. They teamed up with Adam Lawson on that Ashcan. I've had Adam Lawson on my channel. Did an interview with him when that Psycho Slumber Ashcan came out. And that's looking awesome. It's the merging of Adam Lawson's comic world and Phil's comic world. Check that out. And Phil is also a huge fan of STERANKO. Did I say STERANKO? Sorry. STERANKO. It's late. Feed them ducks. That's right. Shelby's is the first sound effects I don't get. John, you are just now revealing that you have not been on Shelby's stream. You need to go watch Shelby's stream and you'll get it. You will get it. Mod Militia. That's right. Admiral Rackass knows. He knows exactly what that sound effects come from. Knocking out more lettering tonight. Nice. My goodness. Oh, that's right. You letter too. Phil is a writer and letterer for his comics. Phil's been doing this for a long time too. It's great to see you guys. Thank you for coming. It's late, people. What are you doing up? What are you doing up? All right, let me bang out this last panel. Okay, we're gonna call this the calisthenic panel. I'm sorry, I keep hitting my mic. My pencil is just the exact height for this mic to hit my mic. Good thing Mark's music obsession is not here. Well, I just remembered Maggie passed away. His dog passed away. Ugh, that's a horrible way to remember that. But I would sometimes when I would make sudden noises on my stream, you would say it would like startle her. Rest in peace, Maggie. All right, here we go. Their bodies, dare I say, are intertwined. Oh my gosh, somebody in my house turned on the heater. It is cold, but I'm getting too hot. Oh, I'm gonna kick this back in. This is 60s chic, and the rich used to have shag mats near the pool. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. I mean, I guess I thought that maybe it's concrete or grass, this stuff here. This is kind of a bad scan. I do have better printouts of the second and third row of artwork, which is really nice, a lot cleaner than these. But I assume this was carpet, but maybe this is like grass or, yeah, textured concrete or something. So then what's this? Some sort of sculpture? All right, they're at the pool, guys. That's what so says Mighty Geek Studios. Very Austin Powers-ish. It is. It is that era, which is really fun. That's why I call him the Bean of Comics. John says Adam Lawson is great. He is awesome. I enjoyed talking with him, and I really love. He posts YouTube content and content on X as well, and that dude is so enthusiastic about comics. It's amazing. So it's really infectious to see him do his reviews and just talk about what he loves. And he's totally a diehard, like, get comics every week kind of guy too. So yeah, a lot in common with him, and I love always hearing his recommendation for comics. STERANKO will appear when you least expect him, in my experience. I was thinking about going to bed, but then this crazy artist started streaming. I'm sorry. STERANKO appears at random Denny's, maybe? R.I.P. Maggie. Yeah, it's really sad. Comrade Sammy, she's here. The chat ninja has awakened. You missed a spot. Thank you. She's here. So great. Wouldn't be the same without Comrade Sammy. How I went over an hour without seeing the stream is a mystery. Maybe you were sleeping? It's late? Yes, it's late, Emotrash says. Haven't made it to the witching hour? Speak of the devil. Unhinged is here. Swinging by to hit the like. Looking sick, dude. Thanks, Jason. Thank you so much. Everybody subscribe to Jason's channel. Comrade Sammy, I knew you wouldn't be sleeping. AstroTurf, yeah, possibly. That's a clear point. It's not gonna be fun to ink that, whatever that texture is. That's not gonna be fun. Or maybe it will be fun. It's gonna be a lot of like dots. Nick Fury and the Nam were how Marvel Comics covered the Vietnam War without mentioning it. I mean, the Nam is pretty explicit with talking about the Vietnam War, and I think it's genius. I mean, it's such a great series, and just I don't know, there's something about it. I love it because Michael Golden's art, obviously, and that was where I did one of my master study pages was from the NAM, was a Michael Golden NAM page. Check it out. I have there's a playlist for Michael Golden where you see me do the same exact thing I'm doing here, but on that page. But the stories in that were really hard hitting, and I love that you would think with like a military comic like that, or like, yeah, that they would just do one-shot stories, but I love how the NAM followed the stories of several characters over the course of many issues. So you really kind of started to learn about those characters and fall in love with them, and sometimes they die, and it was awesome. It was a really great series, and the artwork was... It wasn't always great, but Michael Golden just got better and better in his work on that. And he was also, when he was inked by John Beatty, who very underrated inker, but great inker on Michael Golden's work. So yeah, I love the NAM. And I just love how it was able to tell that kind of dramatic story in a comic book fashion. It's awesome. But yeah, the 60s, man. I mean, you bounce from that to this, it's wild. Comrade Sam, it wasn't even sleep. Sleep is for the weak, that's right. When exactly is the witching hour? 3 a.m. for emo trash. We got plenty of time. Zaid needs water. Somebody get him some water. Comrade Sammy's doing her skincare. Wow, that's great. Is it a whole routine or what? You gotta take care of your skin, especially in these days where it's colder. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but you know, gotta stay moisturized. Because if you got the heat on all the time, it's gonna dry out your skin. It's gonna get wrinkly. Keep it moisturized, guys. Wow, Nick Fury's really, it's got her in a headlock here. Yeah, make sure you hit that like, everybody. If you like it. If you don't, hit the dislike. No, I don't. Don't. Please don't do that. Yeah, we're trying to get to 500. We're close. 477 as of the beginning of this stream. Less than 25 to go. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. But also I've been kind of keeping an eye on these watch hours. These public watch hours is what they call it, which they measure as well. So it's just encouraging YouTube creators to stream more. Yada yada. Yeah, it's funny. So this image that I'm drawing, this panel and also the phone panel were considered so controversial for the time that they changed them to these panels here. So I guess it was like too controversial to have the phone off the hook so that Nick Fury wouldn't be interrupted. So they made the phone on the hook, I guess. But in my mind, it's like the phone's still ringing. He's not picking up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then instead of showing them kissing here in this embrace, they did a close up on the gun from the top panel here, which is amazing. But I read an interview with STERANKO saying like he felt like there was more innuendo with the corrected version or the edited version than there was with his original, which I kind of agree with. I love it. I love it that there's two versions of this page in existence and a story behind that. It's really amazing. All right. Also her like open-toed slip-on sandals are very specific. After I finish up on this one panel, I'll go get that book, that Pulp Power book. It's amazing. It's a really great book. It goes into the history of like pulp books, focusing on like The Shadow, Doc Savage, and then they have a whole section on STERANKO, and we can look at that. It's awesome. Rocky, don't let the dislike discourage you. YouTube doesn't care. It's still engagement in their opinion. Oh, really, John? I didn't know that. I don't think I've gotten any dislikes. I don't think. As far as the streams. I probably just jinxed it. Now you guys are going to hit dislike. But I don't think I've gotten any dislikes as far as I know. So, but if that counts as engagement, there you go. I'll take it. Jeffrey Beats. I'm sorry, I keep saying Jeremy. Jeffrey Beats says, liked, great work. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate your engagement right now. That is amazing. All I've learned is how for ink and moisturize. Good. That's great. I don't know if it's possible to cover a war without drama. The Vietnam War turned out to be the training ground for a new type of vigilante. I like that. I mean, Watchmen covered the Vietnam War too. They included that in their storyline. Trying to think what else was like Vietnam War. I think isn't Punisher had some crossover in the Vietnam War? Maybe I'm getting that wrong. Oh, this is Nick Fury's leg right here. I was like, what is that? Yeah, I'm just totally kind of just very, very roughing out these stripe lines, but these will be, I'll definitely tighten these up before I ink them. And so for those of you who don't know, or that you're new to this watching these master studies, after I'm done penciling these, what I do is I scan in these pencils and then I print out a blue line version. I mean, it'll look similar to this because I've drawn this all in blue. Some of the penciling I've done before. Here, I'll pull down this NAM page. Sorry, I don't want to like flash you guys, so let me hide my camera here while I stand up, but I'll pull down this NAM page so you can see. I'm just pulling it off my bulletin board. This was the original pencils to the NAM page that I did a master study for. And you can see I was mixing it up with using blue pencil and sometimes red pencil. I even went into my like burgundy purplish color here. But what I do is once I finish the tight pencils, I'll scan this in and then take it into Photoshop and turn it all into like a lighter non-photo blue. And then print that out onto a clean piece of Bristol. And then I'll ink on top of that, as opposed to inking on the pencils. Because I like keeping a copy of keeping the original pencils as well. So yeah, that's the whole process once I'm done with penciling. And that'll take us to inking. And then here's like the latest master study that I finished a couple weeks ago. This was the finished inks on the Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X. So you can kind of see like the non-photo blueprint. This is printed. This is not actual the blue pencil, but you can see it there still underneath, which is really cool. So yeah, it just turned out sweet. This one was inked with Winsor Newton brush. Love it. My favorite inking tool. And I've also done inking with pen nib. That's also a great tool for that Mobius page I did a master study on. So yeah, fun stuff. Learning a lot. This one, I definitely think, like, look at these beautiful brush lines here. So I definitely think I'll be using the brush. Beautiful, beautiful brush lines here. I love this stuff here. It's really well done. This is going to be hard. I don't know. I might use the nib on these lips. Or I might use the brush. I could do it in the brush, but it'll be hard. It's so like clean and like well spaced on these lips. And they taper really nicely too. Yeah, it's going to be hard. And then same with this. This stuff looks like great brushwork here. Beautiful. Comrade Sammy has a routine, skincare routine. Rocky, oh yeah, I said that already. True, the dislike is more so for their personal recommended algorithm. Admiral Raka says they showed too much ankle. That's why they censored it. Too much. I think it was a little bit too much of this here. And I know that also the other thing that they edited, like they took out this cleavage line here, so it just ended up being like a flesh shape, which was odd. And they took out these hatch marks on the cleavage here, which is so subtle for in our day and age too. Super subtle, but yeah, I guess I guess it was too much for the Utes back then. So here we are at. I'll do a little bit more work up here, but we got those last two panels there. Turn out nice. In comparison here. I love that. I love this expression on Nick Fury's face right here. He's like, "Ugh, are we doing this?" It's like, yes, we are. It's like this beautiful combo of like romance comics and also like fashion illustration, but comic booky shorthand here on the clothing and this like Kirby tech. It was all a mishmash of stuff and reinterpreted in a beautiful STERANKO way. Oh, let me get that pulp book. Let me catch up on chat and then we'll get that pulp book. LOL, the phone isn't ringing. It is that crazy palm tree-like plant near the phone. How did you throw me back to the overly long article I had to read about relationship between Edward Manet and Beth Morisot? Wow. I have that pulp book right next to me. Pulp Power, right? Yes. Let me go get it. French painters from some point in the 1800s. That is awesome, Emo Trash. We would never hit dislike simply because you tell us not to. Yes, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have drawn any attention to it. Now I'm going to regret that. I now have a ridiculous amount of knowledge of Manet, possibly being infatuated with Marceau, but at the same time trying to control her public persona because he saw her as a threat to his own art reputation. Did you copy and paste that? So articulate. Tony Stark got injured during the Vietnam War, and Frank Castle, there you go. Punisher was a Vietnam War, which would explain his intensity. And oh, Tony Stark got injured. I guess I have it in my mind, the movie MCU version, but yeah, probably the original that he was injured during the Vietnam War. Okay, so who is your favorite comic artist? Jeffrey Beats with a great question. Let me put a pin in that. I will answer that in a second. Difficulty. I'm loving that Javier Rodriguez artwork at the moment. Javier Rodriguez artwork. Wow. He is not one that... Wait, let me see. I love it. Let me see if... No, I think I'm getting him confused with another artist. No, that's Marcos Martin. What book of Javier Rodriguez, are you looking at, Jeffrey Beats? Did I put away? I think I put it away. I don't think I have it out here. Oh, let me get that pulp book while I'm standing. Booyah. Pulp Power. Oh, sorry, I'm really close in, so you're going to just see sections of it. This is the book I'm talking about, though, and the book that Zaid Comics mentioned himself. It's awesome. Look at this amazing rendition of the shadow right here. So yeah, it just talks about the origins of pulp, Shadow, Doc Savage, and the art of the Street and Smith universe. And who wrote the foreword? That's right, one of my faves, Frank Miller. To answer your question, Jeffrey Beats, one of my all-time favorite comic book artists is, I mean, are you asking for one? That's hard. That's really hard. But Frank Miller is for sure up there. He is one of my all-time favorites. Top 3, if not number 1. I mean, he really is one of my favorites. Spy Comics had it all. That's right. I was talking to Alex Ross about that book, and I think he was supposed to be more involved in that book, Pulp Power. Really? You were I was just talking to Alex Ross. Speaking of Alex Ross, I looked at this the last stream. I won't flip through it because I already did, but there you go. Alex Ross. Got this at my library because I don't know where my old copy is. It must have gotten lost in one of my moves, but I'm going to reread this. I think this is, in my mind, one of Alex Ross's best. Amazing. But Phil just happened to be talking to Alex Ross about being involved in the Pulp Power. Thank you for the name drop, Phil. Are you calling emo inarticulate normally? No, I'm not. Have I never articulated it before? Don't read too much into it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, sorry. I can't back out my camera. This camera's stationary. It doesn't have like a zoom lens or anything. And the way that I've positioned it right now, I wanted to be in close to my artwork. But you guys can get the gist of this book. It's amazing. I love all the paintings, right? Especially of the Shadow. The Shadow's an incredible character. But I love this stuff too. The non-cover illustrations, they were like interior illustrations in the books, the pulp books. They're amazing. But yeah, so let's get to the George Rosen was one of the main artists for these covers, and then let me get to the STERANKO section. Look at this skull. That skull is amazing. More shadow stuff. It's a great book. If you like pulp memorabilia and just reading about the history of the pulp books. And it's influenced comics so much, like so much of Batman and Superman and Conan, all those kind of books all were influenced by this stuff. Look at this picture, this like swanky picture of a young Orson Welles. Amazing. He was the Shadow on a radio show. There's some comic book stuff. Okay, let me get to... Here's Doc Savage. They talk about Doc Savage, kind of the adventure stories. So yeah, like for sure a lot of the vibe and the feeling of Batman came from the Shadow. Doc Savage. He was just kind of the superhuman, you know, so you can see Superman and like Captain America coming out of the Doc Savage world. Nick Carter, wasn't he a Backstreet Boy? The Whisperer, so cool. Where is that STERANKO section? That's awesome. This weird helmet hair. Oh, here we go. Here's STERANKO. And many of you might know this, but STERANKO did like concept art on the original Indiana Jones, the movies. He did some amazing paintings for those. STERANKO worked with the greats like Coppola, Spielberg, Lucas. This is his work here. So good. He's still alive and kicking. I don't know how much artwork. Phil might know this because I know he met STERANKO. I don't know how much artwork he's still doing now, but I know he's still alive and kicking and like doing conventions and stuff. Oops. And then this is kind of like the more modern day takes on pulp characters. Anyway. Oh, this is awesome. It's great. I'm going to talk about influencing Batman. Look at this Bill Sienkiewicz shadow drawing right there. That's awesome. I love his rendition of Shadow. He did a great rendition of the Shadow. Mike Kaluta did a great rendition of the Shadow. Kyle Baker did a great rendition of the Shadow, in my opinion. There's more Sienkiewicz. These are more recent ones. Pretty cool. I looked at this book. Riley Rossmo. He did a Batman Shadow crossover. Riley Rossmo is one of the artists on The Moon is Following Us, that Daniel Warren Johnson book. I started reading this and I really didn't like it, actually. This is 2017. Wasn't my favorite. Yeah, he kind of lost his like... It was like too spindly for me. Lost some of his like testosterone in Rossmo's version. Speaking of Alex Ross, isn't this Alex Ross? It's got to be Alex Ross right here. Tim Sale. I've talked about Tim Sale before on stream. Yeah, these are the more modern versions. Anyway, it's really cool. If you are interested in all at pulp and the history of pulp and just the artwork of pulp, I recommend it. It's a great book. Pulp Power. Alex Ross is amazing. Jeffrey Beats. I will. Zatanna bring down the house. Oh yes. I do like Javier Rodriguez's artwork. Have you seen Marcos Martin? And if you haven't seen his artwork or Marcos Martin and the other artist, Javier Rodriguez, Marcos Martin, and there's a Polito, I think is the other artist I'm thinking of. No, that's Marcos Martin. This is a really cool book. Sorry, this doesn't. I think Javier Polito. That's why I'm getting confused with Javier Rodriguez. This is Marcos Martin's work. This is a great book too. Random, and I get him confused with Polito and Javier Rodriguez sometimes. Sorry, totally random. I'm all over the map right now. Fun stuff. I'll have to look at this closer on another stream, maybe. Look through this book closely. It's great. Batgirl, Year One. Amazing artwork. You should be able to tell I typed that myself because I was both misspelling Reputation as well as running out of room to complete it. Jeffrey Beats reached out to Javier on Instagram and he wrote back, awesome. I have the Frank Miller Art of Sin City book. Great book. I don't have that book, but I've seen it. I don't own that book, though. Were those Nazis I saw in the corner? Probably. When we're talking about pulp, yeah. Nazis are all over pulp. Most don't know that the Shadow was a pilot during World War I. Really? Like a flying pilot? No kidding. I mean, they do a lot of... There was a lot of adventures with planes and jumping out of plane kind of stuff, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Wow, Mighty Geek Studios bringing all that like obscure knowledge here. Alex Ross admonished Phil for not having circular yellow sunglasses. Really? You accuse me of copy and pasting. I'm sorry. Did you use Chat GPT, Emo? There, I said it. I like how the shadows on that one character's face is just a really deep and vibrant blue-violet. Yeah, the colors in that pulp power, a lot of those pulp novels were insane, really insane, and beautiful. I know Shant has talked about some of the horror movie posters that he loves, that he has referenced and stuff on his book Nosfero, and they have brilliant colors on that, and it kind of feels the same time period, same vibe as some of this pulp stuff. Amazing. Yeah, it's a great book. What's up, Art Times of J. Ryan? Man, it's late and people still coming in here.
It's actually a really good sculpt.
It is a good sculpt. What is up? Good to see you, man. Not Rocky saying they turned the Shadow into a femboy. Kind of. A little bit. At least that rendition of it. The Shadow is... The versions of the Shadow that I like are... He's like this... He's got one foot in horror, like frightening, creepy, and I think that's what Batman has too. He's just like... He shouldn't be like your buddy or like an approachable character. He should be very frightening and mysterious, and the Shadow always kind of plays that line. Like, yes, he's technically the hero in the story, but he's also really creepy and borderline psychotic. So yeah, it's cool. He's a great character. And that version, the illustrations on that version, Rosmo's version of it, it's like he's too like thin and lanky. That's not how I imagine this. That's not scary to me. Marcos Martin is very good. I will look into his work for... Yes, if you like Javier Rodriguez, and I'm pretty sure Javier Rodriguez is the artist that's in my brain. I can't find... I know I have some of his work, and I can't find it right now, but check him out. And then there's another artist by the name of Javier Polito. Marcos Martin did a great book called... think, oops, I think I might have mentioned this book before on stream. I don't know. Oh, wait. Oh no, that's Marcos Martin again. I always get these guys confused because they have somewhat of a similar style. But Marcos Martin has this company, studio, with Brian K. Vaughan called Panel Syndicate. And they did these as online comics first. But then they compiled it. And I've seen this in comic book stores a lot, this one. It's great. It's a really great story. It kind of takes place in the future. It's super cool art style. Great designs. And it's a great story too. So yeah, if you are interested in Marcos Martin stuff, I have a whole bunch of stuff. He did another book. I actually bought this book miniseries that he did called Barrier. I couldn't find it anywhere. It was really hard to find, and I haven't even opened it yet. It's been sitting on my shelf forever that I just looked at now. But it's also Marcos Martin and Brian K. Vaughan. But yeah, if you like the way that Batgirl looks, this is a great book as well. Private Eye. Emo Trash says, I've never once touched Chat GBT. What about Chat GPT? It blows my mind that Rocky is still surprised that people show up this late. I'm amazed. I'm thankful and amazed. Walter Gibson said The Shadow was inspired by Dracula and Sherlock Holmes. That makes 100% sense. That is exactly, if you put those two in a blender, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. So amazing. I love it. And who would think of mixing Dracula and Sherlock Holmes? Like, that sounds crazy, but The Shadow, yeah, feels that way. Like Batman, The Shadow is also a bad day away from being a straight up villain. Yeah, it's one bad choice. And he's kind of crazy though. And you can argue Batman is crazy. He is depending on who you're asking. Batman is definitely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs sometimes, but there's a humanity there. And I think with The Shadow though is even more mysterious. At least the stories I've read of him is even more mysterious than Batman. Like, we get a glimpse of who Bruce Wayne is in a lot of the stories, and he's kind of anchored in that. And I would argue that The Shadow is a lot more mysterious. In his alter ego is a lot more mysterious. It's not so clear like where The Shadow ends and his alter ego begins. And I guess that's kind of the way with Batman too. But yeah, a lot of similarities there. Sounds like he's up my alley. Ooh, up your alley. This is no longer Master. I'm almost done. I'm almost done with the pencils. Yap and Tell. Isn't that the same thing? Show and Yap, maybe? Show and Yap. Should I rename the stream? Pulp heroes fell in the category of vigilante, detective, or reporter. Vigilante, detective, or reporter. I like it. Vigilante, detective, reporter. Who's the reporter? I don't know all the Pulp characters. Is that Nick Carter? Was he a reporter? Is Sherlock Holmes considered Pulp? Or, I mean, it sounds like Pulp came after Sherlock Holmes. Somebody tell me. Phil, tell me. Sherlock Holmes feels like he could be Pulp, or considered Pulp. But I know it came before. So yeah, maybe it's just a big influence. It's like ongoing serial stories with the same characters. There's intrigue, mystery. I know that I mentioned this last stream, but STERANKO's quote, and Sean tells me this all the time, and I think he heard it from you, Phil, was like sexiness. Gosh. I don't remember this. Why don't I have this memorized? And it's going to take me forever to find it in my sketchbook again. I wrote it down. Sexiness. I'm going to find it. Oh my gosh. I had the same problem last time. Boop, 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 boop. No, that's too far back. It's late. This is why I can't find anything. Ah. Here it goes. Sexiness, mystery, and danger. Sexiness, mystery, and danger. I've been using ChatGPT. Awesome. Too late for melatonin tea. Probably. The Shadow is addicted to blood and heroin? Batman is absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's why his enemy has to be the Joker, so he can seem sane, at least in comparison. That's right. Define pulp for me. Well, as I understand it, they were called pulp because of the paper that they produce these very cheap throwaway stories, and they produced them very quickly for people to read. And it was before, like, you know, television. It was like during like radio shows, or radio shows came probably after it, but they were just like quick, not deep novels, but just like fun entertainment that people read. And they were printed on this lower quality paper that was made out of pulp. So they called it pulp stories. These heroes, these stories, these serial stories like The Shadow and Doc Savage and Nick Carter, all those came out of that and were a huge successful form of entertainment at the time. And then radio came out, and they started doing radio, like they had radio shows for The Shadow and probably Doc Savage as well, and all those same characters. But it was just the serial. It was like the equivalent of like TV series of what we watch now. It's almost 2 a.m. Oh my gosh, it's getting late. We're about to hit the witching hour, everybody. Sherlock Holmes debuted in a magazine, definitely a precursor. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Admiral Wackass and Mighty Geek Studios. You guys bring in the history in here. Is that what it says? Huh. Thank you, ChatGPT. I do not disagree with any of that. Versatile. How about that? Versatile professional. All right. I think it was something like sexiness will sell a book. Danger. Yep. Danger, mystery, sex appeal equals pulp covers. Thank you for clearing the confusion. I get it confused because I know also, I think it was it Fellini? There's a quote from a famous film director. I don't know if it was Fellini or Polanski that says, all you need is a girl and a gun to make a good film. And so I get that confused with danger, mystery, sex appeal for pulp, but similar. But I like Admiral Wackass's, his version is also a sure seller. He's a co-founder of animation. Oh, yeah. You guys have met Alan Lau before, my friend Alan Lau. Speaking of which, I would love to get him on my stream sometime. I used to be, that was my former animation studio, was GhostBot, and Alan Lau was one of my partners, and my friend Brad Rao. We were all three co-founders of that studio, and so I want to get those guys on here because both of them can geek out about comics just as much as I can. We have our different niches. They do crossover, but we have our different niches. Brad was the executive producer one of the executive producers and supervising director on Bad Batch, the Star Wars Lucasfilm animation series. And if you know Brad, and I've worked with him for a long time, I used to work with him for a long time, his two favorite childhood pieces of entertainment that he loved were G.I. Joe and Star Wars. And you put those together and you get Bad Batch. And so Brad knows all things for Star Wars and G.I. Joe, and it would be awesome to have him on here and to talk about some of that stuff. And then Alan is an amazing director and designer and storyboard artist and animator, and he grew up with all things anime, and so he loves talking. He knows a lot of comics knowledge, but he also knows a lot of anime stuff, which is a little bit more outside of my realm of expertise. But it would be great to get those guys on stream. I haven't interviewed anybody or had other guests on my stream in a long time, so I would love to have them on. Sleep is for chumps. Rocky, I don't have much left in me. If you read this, I may already be asleep. All right, Sean, thank you for being here. And get some rest. Sherlock is not pulp, not in the slightest. Really? Okay. Spooky Hour, but I think it was a predecessor, if you will. John and I are about to hit the witching hour. I don't know about anyone else. Comrade Sammy still has an hour and a half free. I don't know if I'll go an hour and a half, but I'm going to just double check. I might fill in a few more details here once I get the end of this chat. And ChatGPT says emo trash is from Portugal. All right. Godard. Thank you, Admiral. Man, you guys are classing it up here with your knowledge. I just know how to yap, but you guys got all the accurate knowledge here. It was Jean-Luc Godard who said that. New Wave. Yes, New Wave in general. Portugal is crazy. This is what ChatGPT says about Awesome One. The term Awesome One could refer to various things depending on the context. It's often a nickname or a moniker given to someone or something that is seen as exceptional or impressive. I'd have to agree. I hope you are WWE superstar The Miz. That would be amazing. All right, let's finish this up. Let's finish this up and wrap. But I'm glad we got through the main parts of it. We're close. Yeah, I'm still scouring, trying to find a better scan of this, at least this top, this top frame up here, because the scan that I found a few different scans of this whole page. And this was the best resolution I found for it until I found the inserts of these page on Comic Art Fans. So they have great scans of original art because people go and sell their art there. They show off their original art there if you're a fan of original comic art, which I am. And sometimes they'll have really high scans of some of this art page, and they did for these 2 rows of panels, which is why I had such nice printouts. But then the whole page, for some odd reason, they didn't have the whole page scanned in well. So I'm missing this top panel scanned in well, because as you can see, like, a lot of these details just get really chunky, and it's hard to make out what is going on, like in her hair. But we'll wing it. It'll be fine. And I'll keep looking for a higher res scan. When in doubt, black it out. That's what they say, so I might just do that. Jeffrey Beats, if you're still here, to answer your question from about 20 minutes ago of my favorite artist, Frank Miller for sure is up there for me. Top 3 in my book, if not number 1. I'd have to, if I had a gun put to my head, I'd seriously consider, but he is one of my favorites. I love Jason Pearson is another one of my all-time faves. He died probably about a year ago. No, maybe more than a year ago. Young, but I've some of his best work, Body Bags, Savage Dragon, Blood and Guts, and a bunch of like one-shot stuff that he's done is just like some of the best comic art that I love. Michael Golden is one of my favorites. Comic book. Basically a lot of the artists that I'm doing master studies of are some of my favorite artists. Mobius, and for different reasons too. Mike Mignola always amazes me. And going back to the Image days, I love Mark Silvestri. His run on Uncanny X-Men was one of the core memories and core joys of my comic book collecting as a kid, was his stuff on Uncanny X-Men. And really solidified my love for comics. Who else? I mean, there's so many different artists. Current artists that I like right now, I'd have to say current artist. Rafael Grampa is an amazing artist. Nick Dragotta, he's drawing Absolute Batman. He did some amazing work on a book called East of West. And I pretty much love everything he does. Yeah, Rafael Grampa's up there right now for modern artists. Declan Shalvey is another artist that I supremely admire, and just his body of work and his sense of storytelling I really love. I can keep going on. What about you guys in the chat? Anybody who's still there? Favorite artists? Dave Stevens. Oh, I love Dave Stevens. Rocketeer. Speaking of pulp, Rocketeer, Dave Stevens. Incredible. Daniel Warren Johnson is a current artist right now that I think is amazing. He's just knocking it out of the park with his books. I said Michael Golden. Kevin Nolan, incredible. David Mazzucchelli. His work on Batman Year One and Daredevil is amazing. So much good stuff. I do that. I can do that. I can do that for you, John. No need for sleep aid. Let me talk for a little bit. Okay, this is good. This is good. Jeffrey Beats. Here's my list. Top 5 only. Jim Lee. Wow, Jim Lee. Andy Kubert. I just picked up Andy Kubert issue of Wolverine. Crazy issue of Wolverine that I went over in my Wednesday comic stream. Check it out. You probably have that issue. I'm pretty sure. Oh, is it Adam Kubert or Andy Kubert? Oh, yes. Adam Kubert. This was Adam Kubert. Anyway, sorry. Okay. I digress. Let's get back to it. Okay. Jim Lee, Andy Kubert, Mark Silvestri, Sean Murphy Gordon, J. Scott Campbell. Oh, J. Scott Campbell's awesome. Those are good ones. Jim Lee for sure. It's almost like I forget Jim Lee. I don't know why. I love Jim Lee. I loved his X-Men run. Loved Wildcats, and I have all those. You know, I've talked about them on stream many times. I have the Jim Lee artist edition of his X-Men work. It's amazing. But when you ask me, I don't know why it doesn't stick with me as like favorite artist if I had to choose. Maybe it's just because it's like oversaturated with Jim Lee stuff. There's so many Jim Lee clones out there. And then I would argue like not just art style and just cool factor. Like storytelling is a really big one for me. And Jim Lee's a great storyteller, but like his storytelling isn't the first. I always think of like his style and the way he drew characters and just dynamic poses. At the top of his game, he was incredible. He's still good though. Jim Lee's still good, and I think maybe it's because he's taken more of like an exec role. I don't know. He's drawing a new Hush book coming out, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it is. Yeah, I don't want to diminish Jim Lee at all. He's amazing. Todd McFarlane. Holy cow! I didn't mention Todd McFarlane. Was one of my all-time faves growing up. You're right. The list will change on a daily basis. But those are great. That's a great list right there. Jeffrey Beats. Admiral Waka says, I got a great print of Jade by Dave Stevens and the WoW poster with Betty Page. Dave Stevens died too soon, and I saw an exhibit of his work at the Cartoon Art Museum here in San Francisco, and it's beautiful. His artist edition of The Rocketeer is one of my prized possessions. Yeah, there was a craftsman, like he's like a craftsman like none other, Dave Stevens was. And talk about a master of pen and ink. That guy was a wizard with a brush. And if I could get like my own work, holy moly, yeah, he was so good. His Petty Page was it's the best. Yeah, Dave Stevens was awesome. Great choice, Admiral Wackass. Scream into your I wouldn't do that to you guys. I hate that Wolverine, it's amazing. Oh, I have that I have that Wolverine, it's amazing. It's nutso, and I kind of love it. I love it. And I described it in my stream when I was talking about it. It was like Marvel saying, "Oh my gosh, those Image guys, they're like killing us. We got to do our own. Let's go Image out on this, Adam. Like go crazy." And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna do like quadruple gatefolds and crazy action shots." over the top action shots. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun one. Teeth. Yes, I have an artist edition of X-Men 2. It's amazing. It's really, and I think let's not forget Scott Williams on Jim Lee's work is phenomenal inker. Yeah, crazy good. And it really shows. You can really appreciate it in that artist edition. Okay. This, whatever this is, chandelier thing or nuclear sculpture in her pool or outdoor pool, whatever this is. I have no idea. I think it's a chandelier. Yeah, I don't know what it is. But it looks like... God, I don't know. Clarity on this. I'll have to look around the internet, see if I can get a better image of this and to understand what it is. This I'm not going to mess around with so much in the penciling stage. I wish Campbell did more than covers. Yeah. Jeffrey Beats, do you have the whole danger? Oh, did you know Jeffrey Beats? So speaking of artist editions, a new company was formed by Scott Dunbier, who is the, I guess, godfather of these artist edition books. He was working for IDW for a long time producing these artist edition books. So all of the artist editions out there are Scott Dunbier was a part of. So he left IDW recently and formed his own company called Act 4 Publishing. And his first book that's coming out is a Kickstarter of Jason Pearson, who I just mentioned is one of my all-time favorite comic book artists. Travis Charest is another one that, love him. Speaking of Jim Lee and favorite comic book artists, Travis Charest, amazing. So he is publishing this book, Body Bags, artist edition of Body Bags, which I backed, and I think you can still back it. If you look it up on Kickstarter, you can find it. Jason Pearson's Body Bags. I was promoting it a lot on this channel when they were doing the initial launch of their Kickstarter campaign. So they're doing that. But Act 4, Scott Dunbier at Act 4 announced shortly after that they are doing an artist edition of J. Scott Campbell's Danger Girl. So that will be amazing. But yeah, I kind of wish he was doing more than just covers. The latest artwork I've seen of his was the covers to that new Magic book, and they're incredible covers. I just wish he was drawing the interiors as well. That would make me pick up the book. Yeah, J. Scott Campbell's awesome. Awesome one says, MC Escher, John Singer Sargent. Saw a great John Singer Sargent exhibit / mural when I was in Boston. I think, awesome one, were you in that stream when I was talking about that? Amazing John Singer Sargent's. Herman H.F. Durer, yeah. No one mentions Andy Warhol as favorite comic artist. Nah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he made amazing stuff. Shant really put me onto his work. Dave Stevens, yeah, he's amazing. Really talented. And there's a documentary out. I think you can watch it on streaming platforms about Dave Stevens. And they interview a bunch of comic artists that were influenced by his work or worked with him or knew him. But that artist edition of Rocketeer is one of the best Dave Stevens things. That's another thing. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The Act 4 Publishing. If you look up Act 4 Publishing, they have a website and they talk about the books they're coming out. And he's also releasing some Dave Stevens stuff, a reissue of like Dave Stevens work. So that'll be amazing. I think Act 4 is going to single-handedly bankrupt me with the... Not that I already don't spend enough money on comics, but all their like artist editions they're planning on coming out with are going to be crazy. I have an MC Escher bio art book that is fantastic. It's like an art school book. Yeah, Escher's great. Actually, Escher was like huge in the 80s and 90s. And you don't hear about him that much anymore, or like people don't talk about his artwork anymore that much, as much as they used to. Like it was on posters and everybody's in their bedroom had Escher stuff. Awesome one likes Jackson Pollock because he didn't care much about form or function. I never got Jackson Pollock's work. I think he's one of those artists who people are like, oh, I can do that. Like, why is he an artist? I could splatter paint on a page. Didn't they have a movie that was about him? Like a not fiction, but a Hollywood movie that came out that was about Pollock, I thought. I never watched it. All right, I'm almost going to wrap this up. We are going to hit witching hour according to Emo Trash in like 2.5 minutes here. Durer's Night, Dog, Death, and the Devil is insanely good. I don't even know what that is. Or I don't think I've seen that piece. So I'm going to write it on my notes, Admiral Whack-Ass. Because that sounds like a good one. Oh, Muka. Shant loves Alphonse Muka. Oh, we were talking about comic artists, but we were. Durer's Night, Dog, Death, and Devil. I'll have to check that out. Not me burning my mouth with hot tea. That'll keep you awake. John is still here. Still here. Amazing. John, you get the gold star. Sammy's gathering leaves in Taiwan. What are we talking about? Different Durer. Oh, okay. See, you're hungry because it's almost breakfast time now, so we definitely have to wrap up soon. I'd buy all of those artist books if I could. I know, it's really bad, and I've got too many bookmarked. Ever since I started streaming, one of my favorite things to look at on stream are these artist edition books. And so it justified in a sick way in my brain, like, well, you got to buy that one because then you can look at that one on stream. And I think the popularity, too, of the artist editions, they're realizing that collectors out there are willing to pay $100 plus, $150 to get good artist editions versus paying hundreds to thousands of dollars for one page of original art. So it's like an affordable way of seeing the art form. So yeah, it's bad. It's a bad addiction. It's a bad collector's vice for me, are these artist editions. And the more that you watch my channel, you'll see I gravitate to those artist editions, noir editions, whenever they do like black and white versions of books, pencil versions of books. I'm always like keen on grabbing those. And that one artist that I'd mentioned earlier, Raphael Grumpa, he's doing a Batman series called Gargoyle of Gotham miniseries, and they release I think they call it a noir edition, for every issue of that one. And so I'm double buying that book just because I want the noir edition as well. But it's awesome. It's really good. All right. There's like a million stripes on here. I won't bore you guys by finishing all of them, because it is getting late. The witches are coming out. The witches and the melatonin witches have arrived. But we're close anyway. It's great. It's great to wrap this up on this stream. And the next step will be inks. I'll scan this in, level it out, convert it to the non-photo blue, and then print it out. And so the next time we do a master study, we'll be hitting up inks on this one. This will be great. This will be a fun one to ink. Got this. This is the whatever this texture is. This will be interesting. I'll be doing this all day long. I don't need to pencil that. And tomorrow, for those of you who are able to join me, I will be doing my Wednesday comics tomorrow, where I'll be heading out to the comic book store sometime, and then come back and I'll stream with you guys the books that I pick up. I anticipate probably picking up 3 or 4 books tomorrow, and then I'll have an unboxing. So I got a box package in the mail 2 days ago. Not your standard, what you would think is a comic book, and I think this is a book. I mean, a thick compilation. So stay tuned for that one. That'll be interesting. That if it is what I think it is, it's not going to be a usual comic book that you can find, or like, oh yeah, this is a back issue or something that is pretty common. But it's something pretty special. So stay tuned tomorrow. I will include that in my Wednesday comics. Subscribe to the channel so you get the notification, which don't always work, but just know Wednesdays I usually stream my Wednesday comics and talk about new stuff that I pick up for the week. So yeah, I'm excited to unbox that one. That one will be a good one. That'd be an interesting one to flip through. If Mr. Monkey Boy is still around, hint, it might qualify as a bande dessinée. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 is a huge fan of bande dessinée, so it's been a while. It's been a while. I backed the Adam Kubert art of X-Men. Oh, did they do that? Did they do that as a crowdfunded thing? I didn't know that. I'll have to look that up. or maybe I don't need to look that one up. We have a great local artist that is drawing for Marvel called David Yarden. Great artist and a good bloke. David Yarden. All right. Why does that not sound familiar? That's a nice little wrap up to my notes. David Yarden. I'm going to have to check him out too. Thank you, Jeffrey Beats. It's been great having you here in this chat. Getting the Australian perspective. Emo Trust says, do not get me started on Boston. They're about to get a snowstorm, it seems like. Yes, the lack of the USS Constitution on my visit. Apologies, Emo Trash. I had my chance. I missed it. But I'm pretty sure I'll be back to Boston sooner than it has been, which it's been decades since I've been there last. But I'm pretty sure that I will probably get to visit there more often than not, because of my wife's job. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to swing by there and hit up the USS Constitution. That'd be awesome. Yay, it's on Prime right now. Uh-oh. Oh, yes, it's on Prime. It's on Prime right now. I feel it should be again mentioned that Rocky opened the stream with, I don't think I'll yap as much. I just stabbed myself in the chin. Ow. Thank you, Emo Trash. Thank you. And John is still here. I'll close this with saying that John said he was going to bed soon. We had Art Germ come and sign his work at the local... Oh, yeah, Art Germ. I'm familiar with some of his work. I think he does a lot of cover work, right? That's great. Awesome one's been to the White House and the Vatican. All right. Congratulations. John is either Gothic's uncle or Emo's uncle. Mm-hmm. Witching hour is upon us. We did it. We witched. We witched it. We witched this hour like none other. Comrade Sammy says she can... She just dropped the gauntlet. You know why? Because you came in here late, Comrade Sammy. That's why you could stay up here for another hour. Yes. Yes, you're a witch. I don't have a witch sound. Yeah, I don't have a witch sound. What would a witch sound? Witch? I don't know. Thanks for the chat. See you next time. Thank you, Jeffrey Beats. It was so nice to meet you, and I hope to see you around some more. It was really great meeting you. A melatonin witch? You guys. I'm jumping now. Post send pics if you do that as a requirement. Proof is needed. Yes. Yes. Loner another. Oh my gosh. Awesome. We did it. We almost did it. We did it. We're close. We're definitely done with the penciling phase. Oh, let me get these notes off. Definitely done with the penciling phase. Look at these awesome panels. This is going to be a great one, guys. So I will see you guys tomorrow. God willing. Nothing happening that will get in the way between me and the comic book shop. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for My Wednesday Comics. We will do this unboxing of this bad boy, which will be a cool one. Let Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 know, because I think he's asleep. That it could categorize as a bande dessinée, which will be amazing for him and me. And yeah, we'll go over the comics that we pick up tomorrow. So thanks so much for being here, for hanging with me on this master study. I really needed it. I really needed to not only finish this drawing, but just chill out and have a good time chatting with you guys about fun comic stuff. It's fun art stuff. So I really appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. Hit that like before you go, before you step out. And I'll see you next. Oh, wait. What is that? Wait, hang on. Hang on. What? This is wild. I love Joe. Whoa. All right, Val Kunstgeist. Val Kunstgeist. You're bringing out the Joe Paradise reference right now? Get out of town, man. Welcome. Nice to meet you. Thanks for saying that. Joe Paradise was a show that I created, wrote, directed, designed a long time ago. So how you know about it, I have no idea, unless you're like somebody that I know disguised. But if you're not, amazing. Hit the subscribe button, dude. I'm here. Join the party. We're talking comics all the time, but join the party if it is, because yes, Joe Paradise is my show. So awesome meeting you. Nice to swing in here at the end, Val Kunstgeist. And hopefully I'll see you around soon. Yeah, we finished a page. Hello, 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 hello. Avita saying, don't burn. All right. All right. I'll see you guys later. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.